Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English with Liam and Olivia.
Yes, welcome. We are so genuinely happy you are here with us today.
This is the podcast where English feels real, warm, and part of your actual everyday life.
No pressure, no heavy lessons, just honest conversations that help you grow in a real and lasting way.
And today, we have an episode about something that every single English learner wants to achieve.
Something that feels like the turning point, the moment when everything shifts, when English stops feeling like a foreign language and starts feeling like yours.
The ability to think directly in English without going through your first language first.
Without that exhausting translation step that slows everything down and makes speaking feel so much harder than it needs to be.
Today, we are going to talk about how to actually get there. Let us begin.
So today, we are talking about the translation trap.
That process that happens when you want to say something in English,
You think the thought in your first language,
then you translate it.
then you try to say it.
3 steps, all happening rapidly inside your head while you're also listening to the other person and managing your nerves.
It is exhausting, and it is slow, and it's the main reason why speaking feels so much harder than understanding.
Because your brain is doing triple duty, and by the time you have finished the translation, your moment in the conversation has sometimes already passed.
But here's the thing, the translation trap is not permanent. It's a stage, and like all stages, it can be moved through.
Every fluent English speaker who started with a different first language went through this stage and came out the other side.
And today, we're going to give you the specific practices that help you move through it, not by force, not by willpower alone, but by rewiring how your brain approaches English.
We're going to look at 3 main strategies: thinking in images, not words, building English anchors, and immersing your inner voice.
Each one is practical. Each one is something you can start today, and together they create the conditions for thinking directly in English to become natural over time.
Let us start. Let us begin with the first strategy: thinking in images, not words.
This one might sound a little unusual at first, but it's actually one of the most powerful shifts you can make.
When most learners try to think in English, they approach it as a translation exercise. They try to take their first language thoughts and convert them into English words.
But fluent speakers don't usually think in words. They think in concepts, in images, in feelings, in meanings.
And then language attaches itself to those meanings, rather than the meaning being constructed through the language.
Think about the word coffee. When a native English speaker hears or thinks coffee, they don't think about a word. They think about a cup, steam, the smell, the feeling of warmth in their hands, the morning routine.
The image comes first. The word is just the label on the image.
And when you practice attaching English labels directly to images and experiences, you bypass the first language entirely.
So the first practice is this. When you encounter an object or a situation in your daily life, try to think the English word or phrase directly, not the word in your language and then the English translation, just the English directly.
You wake up in the morning, you see your alarm clock, you think alarm clock, not the word in your language and then alarm clock, just alarm clock directly attached to the object.
You look out the window. It's raining today, directly, without going through your first language.
You make your breakfast. You think, I'm making eggs, or the coffee is ready, or I need to hurry or I'll be late.
Simple thoughts, ordinary moments, but each one practiced in English directly attached to the experience, rather than translated from another language.
And at first, this feels slow and a little forced because your brain is not used to the shortcut.
But over time, the shortcut becomes the automatic path. The English label becomes the first thing that appears when you encounter that experience, not the translation.
Think about a real situation. You're walking through a market. You see vegetables, fruit, bread, fish.
Old approach, you see the carrot, you think carrot in your language. Then you think carrot in English.
New approach, you see the carrot, you think carrot, directly. The English word is the label you attach to what your eyes see.
And the more you practice this with common everyday objects and experiences, the more English becomes the default language of your direct perception.
Another real situation. You're feeling something, an emotion. Maybe you wake up and feel tired or anxious or excited about something in the day ahead.
Old approach, you feel it in your first language, name it in your first language, then translate it into English.
New approach. You feel it and you name it directly in English. I feel tired this morning, or I'm a little anxious about today, or I'm really looking forward to this afternoon.
The feeling is the image, the English is the direct label, no translation in between.
And for emotions, this is particularly powerful because emotions are universal. They don't belong to any language. They belong to the experience of being human.
And when you attach English directly to the feeling, English becomes part of your emotional life, not just your intellectual life.
Because language that lives in your emotions lives in your automatic responses, not just in your studied knowledge.
So start today. Name what you see. Name what you feel. In English, directly, without the translation step.
One image at a time, one emotion at a time, building a new automatic pathway between your experience and the English language.
Now say it with us. Everyone listening, look around the room you are in right now.
Find 3 objects, say their English names out loud, directly, without translating.
Just say what you see. The door, the window, the cup, or whatever you see around you.
Say it directly, no translation, just English attached to what your eyes see right now.
That's the practice. Simple, immediate, and more powerful than it looks. Keep doing it all day today.
Now let's look at the second strategy, building English anchors.
An English anchor is a phrase or an expression in English that becomes so automatic that it bypasses translation completely.
It goes from situation directly to English phrase without ever passing through your first language.
And the way to build these is through repetition in context, not studying a phrase in a classroom, but using it in real situations again and again until it becomes reflex.
Think about the phrase, "How are you?" Most English learners have heard this so many times that they respond automatically, "Fine, thanks," or "Good, thanks," or "Pretty good," without translating.
Because how are you and its responses are already anchors. They're so deeply embedded through repetition that they bypass the translation process entirely.
And what you want to do is expand the number of anchors you have, so more and more of your English conversations are happening automatically, without conscious translation effort.
Here's how you build them deliberately. You identify the most common daily situations, and you find the English phrases that belong there.
And you say them out loud repeatedly in context, imagining the real situation as you say them.
Not reading them from a list, but saying them as if you were actually in the meeting with the energy of the situation in your voice.
And then when the real situation arrives, the phrase surfaces automatically, without you having to think it through in your first language and translate.
That's an anchor doing its work. The situation triggers the English directly, no translation needed.
Think about another situation. You're at a coffee shop. You order something every day.
If you have practiced, "I'd like a flat white, please," or "Could I get a large coffee to go?" repeatedly and naturally, the next time you're at the counter, the phrase comes out automatically.
You don't think "I want coffee" in your language and then translate. You think "coffee," and the English phrase surfaces immediately.
That's what fluency sounds like from the inside, not the absence of thinking, but the absence of translation.
And you build this through deliberate, repeated use of phrases in their real contexts, not through memorizing lists of words.
The context is what makes the anchor stick. The situation is what triggers the automatic recall.
Think about a social anchor. You see a friend you haven't seen in a while. What do you say?
If the anchor is strong, "Oh, it's so good to see you. How have you been? I've missed you." All of these come out automatically without translation.
Because you've said them before in real situations, and the repetition in context has made them reflex.
So identify your most common daily situations, find the English phrases that belong there, and practice them in context with the energy of the real situation until they become anchors.
At work, with friends, in shops, on the phone, in the situations that make up your actual everyday life.
And watch as your English conversation starts to feel less like a translation exercise and more like a natural flow.
One anchor at a time, one automatic phrase at a time, building a network of direct English responses that cover more and more of your life.
Say it with us. Now, repeat these anchors out loud as if you were in the real situation. "I would love to, but I am not sure I can make it." "Could you say that again, please?" That is a really good point.
Say them again with the energy of a real conversation.
I would love to, but I am not sure I can make it. Could you say that again, please? That is a really good point.
Feel how natural those sound when you say them with real energy. They're already becoming anchors right now because you said them out loud in context.
That is all anchors need: real energy, real context, and repetition.
Now let's look at the third strategy, immersing your inner voice.
This is perhaps the most transformative strategy of all, and it is also the one that requires the most commitment.
Your inner voice is the voice that narrates your thoughts, the constant running commentary in your head.
And for most English learners, that inner voice operates primarily in their first language, even when they are trying to think in English.
And as long as the inner voice is in your first language, the translation step will always be there, because the thought forms in one language and then gets converted for output.
The goal is to gradually shift your inner voice toward English, not all at once, not permanently excluding your first language.
But deliberately inviting English into your internal world, into the ongoing narration of your daily life.
And the way to do this is through what we call inner monologue practice, narrating your experience in English inside your head as you go through your day.
You're getting dressed in the morning. Your inner voice says in English, "I'm going to wear the blue shirt today. It's cold outside, so I need a jacket. I hope the commute is not too bad this morning."
You're cooking dinner. Your inner voice says, "I am going to add a little more salt. This smells really good. I think it needs about 10 more minutes."
You are walking to work. Your inner voice says, "It's a beautiful morning. The streets are quiet. I'm actually feeling pretty good today."
Simple, ordinary, the same thoughts you would have in your first language, but practiced in English.
And at first, this feels slow and deliberate because your English inner voice is new. It does not have the fluency of your first language inner voice yet.
But with practice, it becomes faster, more natural, more instinctive, because it's being used regularly in the real context of your actual life.
And here's why this is so powerful. Your inner voice is the most practiced voice you have. You're using it every waking moment of every day.
If you practice anything that much, it becomes automatic. It becomes fluent. It becomes you.
And when your English inner voice becomes fluent, your spoken English benefits immediately because the translation step has been removed from the most constant practice you ever do.
Think about a real situation. You're in a difficult meeting at work. Things are getting complicated. Emotions are running a little high.
Old experience, your inner voice processes everything in your first language. Then, when you want to speak, you have to translate rapidly under pressure. Words get lost, thoughts get tangled.
New experience, after months of inner monologue practice, your inner voice is processing the meeting in English. When you want to speak, the thought is already in English. The output is much more direct.
Not perfect, not effortless, but significantly faster, significantly less tangled.
Or in a personal, emotional situation, you're having a difficult conversation with someone you care about. You feel a lot.
Old experience, you feel it all in your first language, you try to express it in English, the translation strips away some of the nuance, some of the truth of what you feel.
New experience after inner voice practice, the emotion and the English are connected. You feel and speak in the same language. The truth comes out more directly, more completely.
And that directness in emotional conversations is one of the most beautiful outcomes of thinking in English.
When your feelings and your English share the same space, your conversations become more authentic, more you.
And authenticity in language is one of the most connecting things there is. People feel when you're speaking from your real self, and they lean in.
So, start your inner monologue practice today. Just 5 minutes to begin, as you eat breakfast, as you walk somewhere, as you do something routine.
Narrate it in English, gently, without judgment about the quality. Just practice having an English inner voice in real-life moments.
And watch as over weeks and months that inner voice gets stronger, more automatic, more like the English you actually want to speak.
Now let's talk about some common mistakes learners make when trying to think in English.
The first mistake, trying to think in English perfectly from the beginning and giving up when it feels too slow or too limited.
When you first start thinking in English, it will feel limited. Your English inner voice doesn't have the richness of your first language inner voice yet.
And that gap can feel discouraging, like you are somehow less intelligent or less yourself in English.
But that feeling is temporary, and it's the same feeling every person goes through when they first build an English inner voice.
The solution is to embrace the simplicity at the beginning. Simple English thoughts are completely fine. They are the foundation.
I'm tired. It's a nice day. I need to call my friend. These simple thoughts are not below you. They're the beginning of something that will grow into something much richer.
The second mistake, trying to translate complex or emotional thoughts and getting frustrated when English doesn't have the exact equivalent.
Some thoughts in your first language do not have perfect English equivalents. Certain expressions, certain concepts, certain emotional nuances.
And learners sometimes get stuck there, trying to find the perfect English version of something that doesn't translate cleanly.
The solution is to describe the meaning in English rather than searching for the exact word. Circumlocute. Use more words to capture the idea.
It's like a feeling of missing something you've never had, or a kind of comfortable sadness that's actually pleasant. These descriptions are English, even if they use more words.
And this practice of describing rather than translating is itself a form of thinking in English, because you're using English to construct meaning rather than finding its equivalent in English.
The third mistake, practicing thinking in English only when studying and then switching back to their first language for all other mental activity.
The power of inner monologue practice comes from doing it in real life, during your actual day, not just during study sessions.
If you only think in English when you're deliberately studying, you're training your inner voice to appear only in studying contexts.
But you want it to appear in work contexts, in social contexts, in emotional contexts, in the full range of your life.
So, practice in your real life, while cooking, while commuting, while exercising, while doing anything that doesn't require your full mental concentration on something else.
Those ordinary moments of the day are actually the most valuable practice time you have, and they cost you nothing except the decision to use them.
Now, let's bring all three strategies into real daily life situations together.
Imagine a morning. You wake up, your first thought in English, it's early. I was so comfortable. But today's going to be a good day.
Strategy 3, inner monologue. Your morning narration is in English, directly, without translation.
You get up, you see your coffee machine, you think coffee. You think, I'm going to make a strong one this morning. Strategy 1, English directly attached to the image and the experience.
You get to work. A colleague arrives and says, "Good morning." You respond automatically. "Morning. Good to see you. How was your evening?"
Strategy 2, anchors. The social opening of a workday is so familiar that it flows automatically without translation.
Your manager calls a quick team meeting. As you walk in, your inner voice says, "I wonder what this is about. I hope it's not too long. I have a lot to get through today."
Strategy 3 again, inner monologue processing the situation in English, directly.
In the meeting, your manager asks for a quick update on where you are with the project.
Your anchor activates. So, where we are right now is, and the update begins, not from translation, from a phrase you've practiced enough times that it comes automatically.
One morning, all three strategies working together, building a day where English is not a translation exercise, it is the actual language of your experience.
Now, let's try an emotional situation.
You're going through something difficult, a complicated situation with someone you care about. You have a lot of feelings about it.
Old experience, you feel it all in your first language. When you try to talk to a friend in English about it, you feel like the English version of the situation is thinner, less true.
New experience. After months of inner monologue and image practice, you've been processing the situation in English internally as it has been developing.
Your feelings have English words attached to them already. Hurt, confused, hopeful, uncertain, grateful despite everything.
And when you sit with your friend and start to talk, the English comes from the feeling directly, not from translation.
You say, I feel like I understand them better now, and I also feel hurt by what happened, and I'm not sure how to hold both of those things at once.
That sentence came from your inner English voice, from the feelings that had been processed in English already.
And your friend feels the authenticity of it. They feel that you're really there with them, in the language, not just performing in it.
And that presence in English, that authenticity, that is what thinking in English eventually sounds like.
Not perfect, but real, and real is always more connecting than perfect. Let's try one more, a professional situation.
You are preparing for an important presentation at work. You're nervous. You want to do well.
Old approach. You prepare the content in your first language. Then you translate your main points into English. Then you try to deliver from the translation.
And in the delivery, the translation shows. The language feels slightly stiff, slightly removed, like you are reading from something rather than speaking from somewhere.
New approach. After building English anchors and practicing inner monologue, you prepare in English. Your notes are in English.
You practice out loud in English. You imagine the questions the audience might ask and you answer them in English inside your head.
The day of the presentation, your inner voice is already in presentation mode, already in English.
And when you stand up and begin, the English comes from the same place as the content. They are unified. They are the same thought.
And the audience feels a different quality in the delivery. It sounds like you, not like a translation of you.
Because it is you in English. The two things becoming one.
And that is the destination of all of this practice. Not English as a separate system you translate into, but English as one of the ways you exist in the world.
Say it with us one final time. Everyone listening, say this out loud directly in English. Do not translate it, just say it.
I am building an English mind, one thought at a time, one moment at a time, and it is working.
Say it again. I am building an English mind, one thought at a time, one moment at a time, and it is working.
That sentence came from you directly in English. That is the practice, and you just did it.
Every time you do that, it gets a little more natural and a little more natural, until one day it just feels like thinking.
Let us bring everything together now.
Strategy 1 was thinking in images, not words, attaching English directly to what you see, feel, and experience without going through your first language, one direct label at a time.
Strategy 2 was building English anchors, identifying your most common daily situations and drilling the English phrases that belong there until they become automatic reflex responses.
Strategy 3 was immersing your inner voice, deliberately narrating your daily experience in English, building an English inner monologue that gets stronger through constant real-life use.
And the mistakes to avoid. Do not expect richness from the beginning. Simple English thoughts are the foundation. Embrace them.
Do not get stuck trying to translate perfectly. Describe the meaning in English instead. That description is itself thinking in English.
And do not limit the practice to study time. Your ordinary daily moments are your most valuable practice ground.
Thinking in English is not a switch you flip. It's a pathway you build slowly, consistently, through deliberate daily practice in real life.
And every learner who has ever achieved it built it the same way. One thought at a time, one moment at a time, one ordinary day at a time.
You are building it right now. Every episode you listen to is adding to the pathway. Every sentence you repeat out loud is making it more solid.
The day will come when you notice that a whole conversation happened and you never once translated. When you realize the English just came directly, naturally from you.
That day is ahead of you, and you are moving toward it. We are so sure of that.
Keep going. Keep practicing. Keep inviting English into the ordinary moments of your day. It's the fastest and most natural path to thinking in it. If today's episode gave you practical strategies that you're going to use starting today, please give it a like right now.
And if you're not yet subscribed, please join our family today. A brand new episode is ready for you every single day.
Thank you so much for being here with us. Every single listen truly means the world to us.
This has been English with Liam and Olivia. Simple English, real conversations, daily practice.
Take care of yourselves. Keep thinking, keep speaking, keep growing. We'll see you in the very next episode.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.